So let's face it, we run a leading Webflow agency at Flow Ninja, and we work with clients like Upper.com, Checkout.com, and many others. And even with that, we do make a lot of mistakes, from big to small. And the way you decide to react to those mistakes is gonna be the key differentiator from actually running a good and a successful Webflow project and remaining a good and a successful client relationship versus like the client dropping you, you dropping the client, or just kind of having an unprofitable project or like ruining your reputation just because you do have one name, I guess, as I like to look at it. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the tips you can actually do in order to react better to the mistakes you're making and to make better decisions. There are many things you can do to avoid mistakes, like having a clear scope, having a clear timeline, having clear responsibilities on who's doing what in the project. But even with all of those, and like even with a good, like I'm forcing a scope of work document, even with all of that, there can be mistakes. And like a client can make mistakes. You can kind of make mistakes when you communicate to the clients because of your bad communication, they make mistakes. And you can also make mistakes internally in your team. And all of that can happen and will happen for sure. And that's why, like, I guess the first part of this is like listening to your client and acknowledging the mistake you've made. So I know that many times, like I've seen people and like I've been working with many other agencies. I've been working like in my personal life, like, and I don't know, with architects, with builders and whatever, like, because I'm running some side projects. And many times, like when I do kind of say, okay, this is not good, let's fix it. They're like, whoa, don't like, what do you think of me? I always do just good work. I tried my best. Why are you like jumping on me, etc., etc. Never do that, because like we're all humans, and like when you start understanding the human psychology, you're gonna understand that that's not gonna work. So my first step every single time when a client does report something, okay, yes, that's a mistake.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We're looking into it. I'm not quite sure why did it happen, and I'm gonna try to give you an answer as soon as possible. So the moment when you say, okay, that is a mistake, like we understand, everybody's gonna just put the ball down.
Bruh, chill. I don't know why you're in a big time rush.
Because you're not making a fool out of the client, like you're not trying to come up with a story of kind of why did it happen, how they're guilty, how you're guilty, and whatever, like that they don't understand, like to try to come up a story of maybe why didn't they appreciate something. So like just go ahead and say, okay, yes, there is a mistake. I'm going to try to identify how did it happen and get back to you in 24 hours or something like that. The moment, like try responding straight away. I've made mistakes previously where I kind of look at a message and I'm not sure what to respond, and then I don't respond for a day, and that's not professional. So just try to give a response out as soon as possible so that they know that you're looking into it and that you're going to get back to them, like kind of hopefully in the next few hours, and then maybe even like in 24 hours, like if you cannot get all of the info in time. And then the next thing is like get your team's story. Because when you're running an agency, your team is like the one that's helping you out get all of the results. So it's really important to hear what do they think about the situation. It might be that the client was too aggressive and the team is too defensive. So it doesn't mean that the team story is always going to be completely right, but it's important to get both sides of the spectrum and figure out the even ground of kind of how did it actually happen, so that you have information from the client and information from your team. Previously, I was maybe making mistakes while running an agency where the client reports something and I just go to the channel, what is this? How did we make this happen? Like I was aggressive, like in communication, and you should completely try to avoid that. I like to use a sandwich technique, so that when you say something good, then you mention what's problematic and maybe what can we do to make it better. But the bigger mistake was that I was actually attacking my team before actually getting their story, because like maybe they kind of had a lot more work than they expected, so that's why they made the mistake. Maybe they're new, so they didn't know is that a good trajectory or not. Like there are a million of different reasons your team can make a mistake. You should encourage that. And the way you treat mistakes internally in your team is going to be the thing that makes or breaks your agency in the long run. So that's why I recommend, okay, get your team story. Don't be aggressive. Just try to understand why did it happen and how can you help them out so that that doesn't happen in the future. And then for the clients, kind of hear everything out. Then after you understand like how the mistake happened, is your team guilty or is a client guilty, then you can jump on a call and explain to the client why did it happen. Recently, we had a client like that was late for 3 months just because of the content and it wasn't ready. And then initially, like I would have thought, okay, the client didn't provide copy, it's their fault. But in the end, it turned out that we didn't communicate with them like in a proper way how much time they're going to need to invest into the website on a week-to-week basis in order to make the website like 50+ pages pages for their startup. And that's why kind of they ended up not delivering everything on time. The team then started being late because they didn't have enough resources. So you need to go to the beginning of the project and get to the small little details that can make kind of the whole project kind of go wrong, and then just say, yes, hey, how are you? Like, I've looked into the mistake. The mistake actually happened. So, and it was on us because we didn't communicate that right in the beginning. We're going to make sure that we communicate as much as possible right now. And what is the next steps so that we can make sure that we get the project back on track and that we collaborate in the best way possible. That's the best way to communicate. And I always try to communicate these things over calls, just because on messages, sometimes it might seem that the client is aggressive or that you're aggressive. And like when you get on a call, you realize, okay, it's not a big deal. Like we can fix it. Like we had another project where the client didn't think that we implemented their revisions in a proper way, but we didn't understand like that they just wanted a different color. And like that was it. We thought we have a fourth version of the page. Why are they still giving revisions? But we just missed out that they didn't want 4 versions of the page with just different color. So just try to make sure if the problem is going deeper and deeper and deeper, make sure to get on a call to get everybody on the same line. And this way you're going to be able to make sure that you get on the right track as soon as possible. And then after you've communicated the mistake with a client, you understood it, like, is it on your side, is it on their side, and whatever, then it's a great way to communicate with your team. Like if you don't, if the mistake goes away, like the client is happy right now, but you then go back, maybe set up a meeting or like document like how the mistake happened and what should we do in the future, or create a new process in the agency, you're going to lose a lot. I feel like I'm always happy like when the team makes a mistake, just because I can use that as a learning opportunity for everybody in the team. Like even for people who didn't make that mistake, to learn what they should have done in that situation, how to do it better in the future, and how to handle those situations. And also to encourage the team that mistakes can happen. I know 0 teams that actually make 0 mistakes. So it's pretty important for you to go ahead and understand how to project this on your team and make sure that they understand and like that they can learn from this and kind of become even better after the mistake has happened. The next thing is to don't be scared of unhappy clients. Like in the beginning, I was always trying to make everybody happy. Like there can be situations where like the client doesn't work out for you. And that's where you can go ahead and kind of say to them, okay, maybe we don't work out for this project. Like I can recommend you other partners so you can continue to make this project a success. But for us, like this is just not kind of profitable. This is just not the projects we're like working on. We made a mistake in the discovery phase. We didn't say, okay, this is wrong. Just try to communicate that in the best way possible and understand like if the client is not good, you can still make them happy by recommending a different partner and like that they can kind of continue fully happy with them. But on your side, like, you need to know when do you need to draw the line and when do you need to protect your team from project becoming a complete disaster, I guess. And then the final thing is like deciding if you're going to be adding anything else to fix the situation. I mean, like we've sent bonuses, like in terms of doing some bonus pages, doing some bonus extra work. Like if we made a big mess, I guess we've sent gifts, clients, like postcards. Like I know this past 3 months has been a horrible experience for you because you had to work a lot, but I think we're all happy with the website and how it turned out and that we kind of created something unique and something good that's going to push their business forward. So just try to make it personal. Like, again, we're in a service business. This is a people business, and make sure that you show that you care and that you show that the appreciation when the website goes live or like when everything gets back on track. So just try to showcase your appreciation as a partner, and that's going to go miles and miles ahead because not many people actually remember what they need to do and how to act like real people, like in the end, like in this business. So if you want to go ahead and like listen to me talk a little bit more about some situations and how we handle them for a longer period of time, you can view our podcast down below, Flow Surge on Spotify, and listen to the full episode of me actually discussing and going into details about this. Or you can visit our website, flow.ninja, to go ahead and listen to more guides, view more Webflow tutorials, and also to become our client if you plan to do a next big Webflow project.